want to talk to you today about an important topic: when writers resist DE feedback. I know, right? Here you are busting your butt to provide awesome feedback so a writer can improve their writing and have the best book possible. And the writer's like, whatever, dude. And you're like, "Gah!" Here's the Writer resistance to your feedback can happen. It does happen. It will happen to you at some point if it hasn't happened to you already. Here are some ways that this resistance can manifest. And I've summarized these in a document that you can find in the DE document library. So I'm just going to share my screen here and put on my reading glasses so I can actually see this. Okay, so some nonfiction writers seem to think they should just write about the topic of their book and not put themselves in the writing. And that's an unfortunate form of resistance you may run into, because what keeps readers engaged in this kind of nonfiction book is, in fact, hearing the personal stories, the personal experiences, the personal opinions of the writer writing the book. So you just kind of have to keep gently reminding them of that. That's what is going to keep readers engaged. Another way that resistance to your feedback can come up is if the writer thinks you don't have deep enough experience in the exact topic of their book. Now, we do what we can to match up writer topics with DE educational background, DE experience, professional experience, and so forth. These matches aren't perfect, but we do the best we can. And what you've got to do as a DE is remind them that it's not so much about your expertise in their exact topic, it's about the writing. And your feedback will help them improve their writing regardless of the topic. You are a professional editor, and you can help their writing improve whether you have deep expertise in their book topic or not. Now, some writers just won't incorporate your feedback when they're making revisions. Now, we don't press every writer to be revising because they get stuck in this endless loop of revising the same piece over and over. There are a couple of critical things that we do ask writers to revise in this phase of the program, which is their introduction for nonfiction or an author's note for creative works. And we also ask them to revise at least one chapter. So we want to see that intro or author's note and a chapter. It could be the first. It doesn't have to be the first. Other than that, we don't press for revisions. It's more important for them to get the new writing down on the digital page. So if a writer posts a revised piece, but they haven't really incorporated your feedback, you want to check to make sure that your original feedback is still in the conversation panel. Hopefully the writer has not deleted your feedback. If that happens, let your Wrangler know. And if the resistance to incorporating your feedback in the revisions on a particular piece, if it's just not happening, also contact your Wrangler and we can figure out what to do about it. Then you've got writers who just keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. So if you want to avoid having to leave the same feedback all the time, you got to try to get them to understand the mistakes that they're making so that they can course correct for the rest of their writing. The way to do that, especially early in a cohort, is to provide examples, right? And because a lot of these writers are very new to writing in general and obviously to writing a book, they need examples of your feedback. So rather than saying, oh, you need a transition here, well, that's no good if the writer doesn't even understand what you mean by a transition. You got to actually put an example in there. Here's one way to transition from this part to this part, and write a sentence, a transition sentence, to show them that. So you may have to do that a number of times until you can see that they understand and start making those corrections and improving their writing moving forward. And then there's a different kind of resistance that's more kind of almost like arrogance. That might be too strong a word, but it's when a writer is like, my baby is perfect the way it is. That's a tough one. Some new writers do think that their writing is better than it is. And this is especially the case if they've never worked with an editor before. So you just have to keep reminding them that, hey, we're here to help you improve your writing. These are some things that are going to make it even better. No one's work is perfect right out of the gate. And a new writer shouldn't expect it to be. And that's why you're there. So these are just a few examples of how writers may resist your feedback, and some ways that you can handle it. If any given form of resistance to your feedback continues and continues and continues, let your Wrangler know. We've got things we can do to work with that writer and get them to understand what your feedback is about and how it is meant to improve their writing. So there you have it. Have a great day and see you in the weekly DE meeting.